My name is Tiffany. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Coding Bootcamp application and interview process. So stay tuned for some useful tips.
What we do here is go back.
Okay, so the very first thing you need to do is apply, right? Applying can be tough, but don't worry. As soon as you apply, you'll feel much better about it. So if you know that coding is what you want to do, it's your passion, it's the career path that you want to continue on, then go ahead and apply. You've got nothing to lose. The worst thing they could do is say no, right? Just go ahead and apply. So that's the first step. If you're applying to multiple coding boot camps, which I encourage, then make sure that you apply during the same time or about the same time, just so maybe you could hear back around the same time for each one of them. So when you get all of these acceptance letters, you can, make your final decisions from, the ones that you've been accepted to. The best way to apply is just going to the website and applying. Very simple. Most of them have the apply button at the top of the page, in the middle of the page, at the bottom of the page. It's everywhere on the page. And they want you to apply. So just go ahead and go for it. Scholarships. While you're applying for the Coding Bootcamp, make sure that you apply for any scholarships that they are handing out to you. You need all the funding that you can get. Some of them have diversity scholarships, some of them have some for military vets. I mean, there's a lot of scholarships that most of them have, and those are pretty much the basics. Of course, if you're women in tech, then you also have a scholarship available for you in most coding boot camps. So I definitely take advantage of it. They can go up to $2,000 is what I've seen with Coding Dojo, but it kind of just depends on your coding boot camp. I have seen at the Iron Yard that they have a full scholarship for one hopeful. So if that's something that you want to pursue, if it's a process that you want to go through, then I say go for it. The worst thing that could happen is they're like, no. And then you have to find other options. After you applied, hopefully you'll hear back within a reasonable amount of time, maybe a week or two. That's when I heard back from my application process. After that, it was the interview. So during the interview, just be yourself, be honest, show your passion about coding. So that's who they're looking for. They're looking for those people that are excited about code, wanting to be, learning and creating things. So if you exude that passion during your interview process, you will succeed, no doubt. During my interview process, I had to do loops and functions. It was an interview, basically, remotely, shall I say. So I was in my location, they were in their location, and we joined on the computer. And he basically pulled up a screen and said, hey, code this, and I was using JavaScript. That's what I was comfortable with using. So it's basically, like I said, loops and functions. So I believe there are about maybe 4 or 5 questions that you had to go through, but they're, looking back on it, they're fairly simple. So I'd say study up on those things, and then depending on kind of like your own coding bootcamp, I'd say ask before you interview, if possible, to ask, what is going to be on the interview, so you could better prepare yourself and be ready and do the best that you can. During your interview process, make sure that you find a quiet space for you to do the interview in. The last thing you need is a lot of distractions and noise and things like that from outside. So make sure that you find a great spot within, your house or the library or wherever that may be for you, and to do your interview so you could focus. The second tip is to make sure that you are honest about what you know and what you don't know. So if you don't know some stuff, it's fine. It's okay, but make sure you let them know. So if you, kind of get stuck on a problem, just make sure that you tell them, hey, I'm not really sure about this, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, cool, it's just good to know where people are before they start the coding boot camp. So it doesn't mean it's going to hinder you. I had some times at mine in my interview where I'm like, oh, I'm not really sure if this is the right thing, but I'm going to go for it. So I encourage you to kind of carry out the plan. Don't just quit and just say, I'm not going to do it. Carry out your plan of what you're going to do, but just make sure that you let them know that you're not really sure if this solution is going to work, but you're going to try it anyway. It'll be cool. But the third tip, so make sure that you are communicating with your interviewer. I recommend talking through the steps that you're going to take to solve the problem, and of course, going back to the second tip, letting them know that this may not work, but you're going to try it anyway. So just let them know at all times kind of where you're going with the solution. Also, make sure to talk back and make sure you understand the problem. Make sure you understand what you're solving first. So make sure that you're asking questions throughout your interview as well. So if they tell you to write a function, make sure that you understand everything that needs to go inside of that function in order for you to solve that problem. So I would ask, is it a variable type array that you're doing? Is it items in an array that you need to be extracted from there? Like, what exactly do you need to be doing inside of this function? So make sure you have all that information set before you get ready to go, just so you fully understand the problem. The next video I'm going to be talking about is funding, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully this information has been helpful. I have created a blog post on application process and funding. They're in the same post, but they should be fairly easy to find if you're looking for one or the other. So I'll leave a link to that below. Hit like if this was helpful for you. Subscribe to my channel for more videos about tech and coding boot camps. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.